Fox Sports.
We are sports. We are Sun.
Yesterday, the Bronx Bombers broke out the heavy artillery, slugging 5 home runs on their way to an 8-4 victory over the Rays. Today, right-hander Jake Odorizzi goes to the hill for Tampa Bay. It's the series finale from the Big Apple. It has been a big weekend in the Bronx at Yankee Stadium as the Rays and the Yankees today prepare to wrap up this 3-game series. Rivera Avenue, the key word, key name today. Mariano Rivera, the all-time Major League saves leader, honored in pregame ceremonies. Forever remembered here at Yankee Stadium. Hi again, everyone. We welcome you to an afternoon of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson. I'm Dwayne Stats. Good to have you aboard. Rays have dropped the first 2 games of this series. They're 5-6 overall in the season series against the Yankees, looking for some good things. And yesterday, it was again the bat of Brad Miller.
Listen, Brad Miller in the cleanup spot. He has really taken it seriously with the production. Had a huge game yesterday, 2 home runs, and it's been 13 games for Brad Miller in the cleanup spot, and this is what he's done. The .366 average, 5 home runs, 13 runs driven in, the big slugging percentage. And what makes Brad so dangerous right now is his ability to use the whole field. We saw it yesterday, a home run to left field, and then you want to come in on me, I can turn on you and take you out to right field. And that's why right now, Brad Miller with 22 home runs on the season, you start to look ahead and say, this guy may be able to get to 30.
Yeah, the other good thing for the Rays recently has been the work of Jake Odorizzi, making his 25th start of the year here this afternoon against the New York Yankees. And especially since the All-Star break, he has been very, very good and finally getting some results for that good work.
The changeup is back, and that really is what it is with Jake Odorizzi. Inconsistent was the changeup early in the year, but since the All-Star break, we've seen more finish on that pitch, and that allows him then to use that fastball to work it to all 4 quadrants of the strike zone, elevate the fastball, and then come back with that split change with the tremendous finish like you see right there. And that has been the huge difference and what has allowed Jake Odorizzi to put up numbers like this in his last 5 starts.
So it'll be the Rays and the Yankees from the Bronx Yankee Stadium this afternoon before the Rays return home to open a 10-game homestand. Coming up, Rich and Orestes with more from the studio. All of that leading up to the first pitch from New York. And we welcome you back to Yankee Stadium. Another warm afternoon for the wrap-up game of this series in the Bronx. Rays come in. They've dropped their last 3. Standing 1-4 here in Yankee Stadium this year, and coincidentally 1-4 on their current road trip before getting back home. Quick look at the starting lineup for the Rays, presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Logan Forsythe leads it off at second, followed by Kevin Kiermaier. It will be Evan Longoria hitting third again, and Brad Miller in the cleanup spot. Matt Duffy at short hits fifth. Nick Franklin in left. Corey Dickerson is the DH with Steven Souza Jr. in right field. Bobby Wilson will do the catching. He'll hit ninth.
Well, taking the mound this afternoon for the New York Yankees is right-hander Luis Severino. And really all you can say is it has been a very difficult year for the young right-hander. This is coming off of 11 starts a year ago, basically from August through the end of the season, where he had a 2.89 earned run average in 11 of those starts. And you see what he's done this year. It's just been a disastrous year, but getting another opportunity because of injuries to the Yankee rotation.
The Rays most recently saw him in a relief stint, a couple of innings. His 9th start of the year overall. And here is Logan Forsythe. And he takes the first pitch up and in for a ball. Temperature in the mid-90s. 95 as we start play. Line drive into left. That ball is going to skip all the way to the wall. Hicks retrieves it. Forsythe in at second with a double. His 21st double of the year. Logan immediately in scoring position.
Well, this has been part of the problem. You see where that pitch was meant to be. Down and away, it ends up middle in, and it allows Logan Forsythe to turn and burn on it. That has been the problem with Severino. I mean, lefties have hit him, righties have hit him. Righties have actually hit him better, but it's because he becomes predictable and the command has been off.
Now Kevin Kiermaier. Torrey is playing in on the grass at third with an eye on the base runner Forsythe as well. And that first pitch a little low, ball one. And Kiermaier showing the bunt. Takes that one in there for a strike. Just about the same spot. In fact, I think it was.
It was. That was right over top of the first pitch. And this is what Kiermaier can do. Forces the third baseman, Torres, close. You know, we've seen him lay down sac bunts and beat him out for hits. Double threat.
This bunt is popped up foul. Yeah, that's going to be a very important part of his game for Kiermaier, the bunt. 3 bunt singles since moving into that number 2 spot just under 2 weeks ago. Tap foul. So with those 3 bunt hits in just under 2 weeks, he's already ahead of that pace that we mentioned the other night. If he could get 1 bunt hit a week, and what that does to an average, and not only your batting average but the on base percentage, that you go from about a 250 hitter to a 300 hitter if you can add a hit a week. Oh, strike 3 called. That pitch in the upper part of the zone on the inside corner.
Well, let's set that Yankee defense for you here this afternoon. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. And in the outfield, left to right, we have Aaron Hicks, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Aaron Judge. Across the infield, third to first, Ronald Torreyes, Didi Gregorius, Starlin Castro, Taylor Austin, with Gary Sanchez behind the plate.
Here's Evan Longoria. Rays with a chance to break out in front. There's a strike 43 runs batted in for Longoria here at Yankee Stadium, the new Yankee Stadium. And that's the highest total among visiting hitters here. 43 runs batted in. Into right field. Here comes another one. Forsythe will score. Longoria heads into second. The Rays break out in front 1-0. RBI number 67 on the year for Evan, and his 44th here at new Yankee Stadium.
Mislocation once again. Gary Sanchez is setting up. He wants that ball in, way in, leaves it middle in, and Evan Longoria does a nice job of staying inside of it and shooting that ball out to right field. You know, that's one thing that Severino, we talked about predictability. Against right-handed hitters, he really is fastball slider. Very rarely will bring out the changeup against them. And so if you're not really good with your command, you are going to get hit around, and that's what's been happening with him.
So a foul ball strike to Miller. Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean Chris Coors Light. The update on the visiting players here. He's got quite a lead right now. Jose Bautista next at 34, and Longoria again 44 runs batted in here. Pitch is close. 1-1. Blue Jays will be coming in here next following the Rays. Bautista on the shelf right now. It's a ball, 2 strikes. Miller with just 1 career at bat against this right-hander Severino, and that was a strikeout, and he is out on strikes this time.
Got a couple of sliders into the right spot, down and in, exactly where he was trying to go, trying to limit the damage here. That's a nasty one. There's no question that Severino has tremendous stuff. We've seen that fastball sitting at 95, 96 miles an hour, the break on that slider. The key is you've got to be able to locate.
Here's Matt Duffy. Pitch is down.
And really, ultimately, you've got to become a guy as a starter anymore that if you have 3 pitches, you need to use 3 pitches against both lefties and righties. You cannot be just a 2-pitch guy, you know, to right-handed hitters. And you see that as he goes through a lineup second and third time and the numbers progressively get worse. It's just because you become a one-trick pony.
Yeah, you're looking at fastball slider. Well, the odds are in your favor.
You sit fastball, and you know the hanging slider you capitalize on, and so that's why if you're going to be just a 2-pitch guy, your command has to be very, very good.
Little chopper right side charged by Castro, and the toss to first retires the side. Rays get a run on a pair of 2 base hits and lead 1-0. The two-base hit, giving the Rays the lead. We go to the bottom of the first. Lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers for New York. Jacoby Ellsbury leads off in center, followed by Aaron Hicks. Then Didi Gregorius. Starlin Castro hits cleanup. The DH is Brian McCann. Gary Sanchez catching. Tyler Austin again at first, with Aaron Judge hitting eighth and right again. Ronald Torreyes is the third baseman, batting ninth.
Well, and for Jake Odorizzi, we talked about it in the open. Since the All-Star break, the number's very, very good. 5 starts, 3-0 record, 1.13 as you take a look at his season numbers there. And really, it's been because of the changeup. The changeup that we were used to seeing from Jake Odorizzi for the last couple of years, it's back. It's been much more consistent. He's been much more successful.
First pitch is a strike to Ellsbury on the inside part of the plate. Fly ball left field. Franklin on the run. That ball's going to be out of play. Not a great deal of foul territory with the stands jutting out toward the line. And that one well out of play. New York with a 4-game winning streak. And the Yankees are running fourth. They're 5.5 games back, 3.5 behind Boston for the second wild card spot. And they've made a number of changes. This is a new look and a younger look with this Yankee ball club. That's the wild card breakout right there. Now there's some teams they'd have to climb through or over, but still 3.5 back.
Even with all the trades that they made, you think about Beltran is gone. You think about 2 of their big 3 in that bullpen, and Chapman and Miller are gone. And the bullpen is doing a tremendous job. They're pitching enough and hitting enough right now, and they really believe that they can hang in this thing and make a run. Not to mention Boston, you know, hanging on by a thread now. When you look at how banged up they are, how much they've been used, the position players, the games played, the innings played. I mean, it is a tired team right now. That's what August will do to you.
Well, and Toronto comes in here, and we saw them over there in our discussion about the top 3 teams in the division, with Toronto and Boston and Baltimore and who you might like. And, you know, the way we saw Toronto over there, I have to sort of give them an edge. There's a liner into right. It'll be caught by Souza Jr. and Ellsbury is the first out. So they'll have a big series in here against the Yankees following the Rays.
Well, let's take a quick look at that defense for the Rays, brought to you by Golden Diamond Source. And in the outfield, left to right, we've got Franklin, Kiermaier, and Souza Jr. And across the infield, third to first, Longoria, Duffy, Forsythe, and Miller, with Bobby Wilson behind the plate. Yeah, that'll be a really big series. And I think that, you know, we both in agreement. The reason you kind of like Toronto is you look at what their pitching staff has been able to do, the numbers that they've put up, on top of the fact that that lineup, while underperforming right now, is still very, very potent and dangerous, even with Bautista out of it.
Down to first. Miller will make this play unassisted. 2 up and 2 down. You know, and if you get down into that final 4 or 5 weeks, 1 or 2 guys get hot, 1 or 2 guys get hurt, makes a big difference, and anything could happen if you're in the race. And I think the Yankees are looking toward that series coming up with Toronto, with the thought that maybe they could pick up a game or 2 and then go into the final weeks being relevant.
You know what I like, and when we looked at those wild card teams, I think the top 5 of them. But you've got Boston was up there at the top, the Yankees 3.5 back, but then every other division is represented. You know, Seattle in there, Detroit, you get some out west. I mean, you'll be watching baseball all night long because it's going to be a heck of a race here down the stretch.
2 strikes the count to Gregorius, 2 outs with the bases empty. Yeah, Detroit, Seattle, Houston, and the Yankees, all within 3.5 games. Pitch in on him, and it's fouled away. And he chases that one up and out of the zone. So Gregorius out on strikes. 1, 2, 3. Go the Yankees. 1-0 Rays. With a run in the first, on to the second. Nick Franklin will lead off. Franklin, Dickerson, and Souza Jr. up here against Luis Severino. Franklin fouls it out of play. Nick Franklin in left field, and he's actually made more starts in left field than anywhere else for the Rays in his time with them this year. Chopped by the mound. That's the scoop and the throw to first in time. So Franklin grounds out to Castro.
Well, it's auditions all around, and Nick Franklin is going to get an opportunity, in the outfield. You think of some of the other guys that are, Souza Jr. out and right. You're going to see Corey Dickerson get a little bit of time out there to see what is coming next year. It looks right now like the Rays infield pretty much set.
Yeah, they certainly hope so with what we see out there. Longoria, Duffy left side, Forsythe, Miller right side, and you've got Kiermaier in center.
Yep.
Now you start to talk about other positions and what you do with them, who may fill those, who may not, and I think we'll see what boils down to some auditioning going on here in the closing weeks of the season.
Yeah, the corner outfield positions, you make sure that Brad Miller is able to handle first base. You've got to look at the catching position, of course. You think about different pieces for the bullpen. Who's going to emerge and stand out going into spring training next year?
A 1-1 count to Dickerson. The other element that would be interesting, and it will be kind of interesting to watch, see what they do in terms of the makeup of the roster. Not a lot of veteran presence on this current roster. And I think that's something that they'll at least have to have some conversation about when you look at veteran presence in the rotation in the bullpen. A couple of position players maybe.
Yeah.
Who could help. I think it's hard not to have that. Dickerson draws the walk. And if somehow that's worked into the mix, I think that's a step in the right direction.
And I think that internally it's already been talked about. I think it's already something that's been discussed. I'm certain that it'll be something that is pursued in the offseason. Now, whether anything comes of that, we'll see. It's typically not in the, the kind of veteran guy you're talking about, leader kind of a guy to come in and maybe set a little bit of a different tone. Those guys cost money, and that's not typically in the Rays' DNA.
Souza rolls it to short. Gregorius Castro to Alston. 6-4-3. We'll go into the bottom of the second inning. It's 1-0 Rays. Baseball on Fox Sports Sun, brought to you by Jeep, the official vehicles of summer, celebrating 75 summers of living 4x forever. By Tampa Bay Radiation Oncology. By Furman, the Bay Area's first name in Chevrolet. And by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. Warm mid-August day in New York. The Rays and the Yankees in the Bronx. 95 degrees. Starlin Castro leads off the bottom of the second. Janko Rizzi had a 1-2-3 13-pitch first inning, and there's a base hit to the opposite field. Takes the fastball over there.
Well, if you're going to get pitched away and you've got your second baseman, in this case Logan Forsythe, shaded way up the middle towards second base, that gives you a wide open hole on the right side. And a lot of these hitters, before they get in the box, they will look to see how the defense setup is, and if there are any open holes. And all of a sudden you match up a pitch with that hole, and the good ones will use it.
Well, here's the guy beyond all others in this lineup that Odorizzi wants to turn around their one-on-one matchups. He is 12 for 26 off Odorizzi, our Buick GMC big matchup. These two right here. 3 doubles, a triple, and 3 home runs. One and one the count.
I want to see the video footage of the triple. Brian McCann, not the type of guy that you're thinking about triple, but he's done it, and he's had big numbers. You know, some guys you just see the ball better than others for whatever reason. Always have that guy.
2 balls and a strike. And that pitch a little too close and just gets him.
That's one way to do it. If he's going to end up on base anyway. Trying to come in, you're trying to make him uncomfortable. That one a little bit too far up and in, and McCann just rolls the shoulder right into it.
So a hit batter, first and second. And Odorizzi, whose ground ball rate has been under 40%, 38%, but he has rolled up 10 double plays.
That's when you know a guy is going for it, is trying to keep the ball down in the zone, whether it's the changeup, the slider, to get someone to roll over it. And that was a perfect example right there, a breaking pitch away. He takes it, it's a strike. If he swings at it, you get a rollover chance at a 6-4-3.
Gary Sanchez catching, hitting .278. And the fastball by him. 0-2. It's a ball, 2 strikes.
That was a good read on the part of Jake Odorizzi. You know, when a guy swings through a fastball, you have to immediately say to yourself, did he just miss it or was he tardy on it? And in that case, the one that he swung and missed at, he was late on. And so Jake says, well, I'm going to take it up a little bit further and try to blow you away just a little bit too high on that one.
Up again, and he fouls it away.
And now you wonder, because of the changeup having been so much more consistent, he's got him set up for it. This is where you could come with that changeup now below the zone. You've raised his eye level. You've got him swinging up there above the zone. And now you come with that split changeup, and right over the top of it he goes.
And he strikes him out. So Sanchez, the first out, and that's the kind of strikeout, or the kind of out you need right there, a strikeout.
And when you can go get it, and what he did a little bit different there, instead of going middle of the plate with the fastball up, he moved it away from him. That takes it, the hitter a little bit longer to get to that pitch that's up and away, and he just wasn't able to do it. So we'll see if he stays up there with Sanchez. Some of these Yankees, Jake Odorizzi, obviously a lot of different starts against the Yankees, but some of these guys he's seen for the first time.
Well, here's Tyler Austin. Austin and Aaron Judge making Major League history yesterday, hitting back-to-back home runs. This time a ground ball short. Duffy, Forsythe 1, Miller 2, 6-4-3 on that double play ball. Strikeout and then the double play. 1-0 Rays. third. $2 Kid Ticket Tuesdays presented by Morgan Auto Group. Back Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, when the Rays and the Padres square off at Tropicana Field. All kids 14 and under get $2 tickets with the purchase of a full price paid adult ticket. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com/specials. By the way, Blake Snell is scheduled to pitch Tuesday night against the former Ray Edwin Jackson in that series. Bobby Wilson leading off. Bobby hitting .242 on the year. Most of that with the Texas Rangers. A 1-1 count. Rays facing Luis Severino. He won 5 games, was 5-3 last year in 11 starts with a .289 earned run average. Wilson pops it up, foul ball. Sanchez gives it a chase, but it's out of play. And it's 2-2. And this year for Severino, it's been nothing like it was a year ago. And this year in 8 starts, 0-7 and 3 appearances out of the bullpen with a victory. So he's 1-7 in 11 games this year. 11 games last year, 5-3.
Yeah, just a huge difference. You know, and he started the season in the rotation and had 7 starts between, early April, mid-May. And he was 0-6 with basically a 7.5.
And he goes to AAA and deals. He's pitched great down there.
Yeah. Well, he can outstuff you.
Mm-hmm.
At the big league level, that works to an extent, but you've got to be able to locate and have some command. And he has certainly been hurt by his lack of command. In fact, Forsythe, Longoria, 2 fastballs that he missed by 1.5 feet where he wanted him to be. And those are the guys that combine to drive the run in. He's thrown some good sliders here this afternoon, down and in to Brad Miller, that one down and away to Bobby Wilson. But you've got to get the pitches, to the proper locations. And now that there were 11 starts last year where teams were able to build a little dossier on Luis Severino, now they put that into practice. They game plan for him.
Yeah, it shows you it doesn't take long.
Nope.
Logan Forsythe takes a pitch inside. A ball and a strike. Two on now. A little close with that pitch to Forsythe. So it's now 3-1. Runs the count full. I mean, right there, you see that fastball, 3-1, 97.
Plenty of juice.
Yep.
And that one had a little jump to it at the end.
There's a fly ball, right center field. That's got some carry and will get out of here. That was another fastball, 3-2, and Forsythe hits his 14th home run to make it 2-0.
Well, and it was another 97-mile-an-hour fastball, but this one Logan Forsythe was able to time up. He swung through the 3-1, made the right adjustment, focused on being quicker to the baseball, and that one right down the middle. Didn't have that late little jump, that late tailing action, and this one got tattooed.
It's Kevin Kiermaier, and so there's a strike. Forsythe hit a couple of home runs in the series in Toronto. And now one here in New York, 14 on the year. He continues to show that he can hit the fastball. You know, he hit that home run off Osuna, the first one in Toronto. Hit that one to left, and now this one to right off Severino. Kiermaier's called out on strikes. So that'll be the second out of the inning.
You know, to be able to hit that fastball, the high-octane heater, you know, not only are you looking for it, it's another pretty good slider there down and in on Kiermaier, but you've got to have quick hands. And that's the one thing that we know about Logan Forsythe. Quick hands. That's the other reason why he's able to drive the ball out the other way. You know, he's another guy like Brad Miller that's strong enough to take the ball out to right field and do it with some semblance of consistency. He's not going to live over there, but he's hit enough to tell you that he can.
You know, and that brings up the idea, if the Rays have a couple guys, well, potentially they have 4 guys on the infield who could give them some pop. We'll see how it works out for Duffy. He certainly has that potential. And Longoria right now with 26 home runs, and on the right side, if you've got Miller and Forsythe, and if they're looking to fill a couple of spots on the corners in the outfield, one of those, you know, you might be able to get a guy who doesn't have to hit a lot of home runs, but who has speed, can cover some ground out there to help you defensively, and maybe hit him at the bottom of the order, so sort of that second leadoff guy, that type of player, which would give this team another dimension offensively.
Well, and then to that end, you're going to take a look, obviously, at what is here, number one. But then you think about Alex Cobb coming back. You think about Chase Whitley. They're very high on Chase Whitley. Those guys coming back. If they come back, everything checks out. They're pitching well. Now, all of a sudden, there's a surplus. Now, do you move another starter and try to get a package of players that to target for those spots?
Yeah,
if
and you
don't
certainly
like what's
could
here.
do that. Yeah,
right on. So it will be an interesting end of the season. It will certainly be an interesting offseason, especially, like I said, if those 2 starters are healthy, throwing the ball well, and the team has confidence that they're going to move forward and have no issues.
Longoria shoots it foul just outside
What
the
a play.
left field line.
What a play.
Hey, look at that.
I mean, that was a behind you line drive, bare hand stab, and then give it to the sun. Watch this. That's a play. Ball had some hair on it.
Pop's a hero.
I want to know what hat that is. I guess if you're going to wear a hat like that with a mean kitty on the front, you're going to make plays. Going to be a minor league team.
And Longoria is out on strikes. So the slider gets him. The Rays come up with a home run. Forsythe hitting an opposite field home run off the fastball. And the Rays lead 2-0.
Half of the third inning, number 42, worn for the last time on a major league field by Mariano Rivera. And there is enter Sandman, 652 saves, the all-time leader in career saves. And today he was honored by a place in Monument Park. Mariano Rivera walking out with his family. There is the plaque that will be now part of Monument Park. A lot of his teammates were on hand from the '96 championship team, and they greeted him here before the game. So Mariano Rivera, a well-deserved honor to be part of Monument Park. And guys, Evan Longoria, of all the Rays players, faced him the most, 16 times in his career. And Longo said that was kind of my welcome to the major league moment. It happened in his rookie year. When he faced Mariano Rivera, he said that's when he felt like he arrived. Also, Kevin Cash, you see Longoria, one of 5 players to hit 2 home runs. That's the most in their career against Rivera. Never allowed 3 home runs to one individual player. Kevin Cash caught Rivera, said, kind of nice when you have a pitcher where you don't have to put signs down, just a location. Back to you.
Yeah, you knew what was coming. Try to hit it. That was the problem. And I tell you, of all of these people who've been honored, and they've had a big weekend here in New York, nobody with greater class than Mariano Rivera.
I mean, a man of dignity. There was nothing phony about him.
That's right. Absolutely. Greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. His number there, now a plaque in the Monument Park. .652 saves and the '99 World Series MVP.
How about that ERA in postseason? 96 games. About as automatic as you can get.
How about that?
You know what's weird is 2 of the blown saves and blown games that he had in the postseason, I got a chance to be there for. Game 5 with the Indians in 1997 when Alomar took him out to right field, and then of course the 01 World Series with the Diamondbacks. That didn't happen very often. They've been the only 2 times it did happen. He was just as automatic, and like you said, and like Kevin Cash talked about, didn't have to put signs down. The fact that he did it with 1 pitch.
3-2, shot into deep right center, and that ball is out of here. That got over the wall into the stands and back out again. Aaron Judge circling the bases, and I think Kevin Cash will want to take a look at that on the video just to make sure. Judge, who homered in his first at bat yesterday, seemingly has one here.
Well, this thing was hit so hard. I mean, inside out, but that's that power. 6'7", 275. And that ball did get over the wall and then kind of regurgitate itself up back over.
Yeah, and I think Kevin was interested in talking maybe about the fan reaching over as well, but it's gonna go for a home run. So Judge breaking into the major leagues in a big way with a home run yesterday and a home run today. That makes it 2-1. And the first pitch to the third baseman, to Reyes, is a strike.
Well, the one that he hit yesterday to center field was 457 feet, number 1.
Ground ball short, handled by Duffy, and that's the first out.
So you talk about his raw power that he's going to have everywhere, but then in this ballpark, and that ball that he just kind of inside out the other way.
Well, we know how left-handed hitters love right field here, and you know, we talked a little bit about it yesterday that he was hitting the ball the other way, and I think that's the point that you started to make then, and follow up on it today, because that's going to be a favorite part of the park for him.
Well, especially, and what'll work for him when he pulls the ball is even if he goes out to left center field where it's huge. I mean, 399 in left center, but how strong he is, that's not going to hold him.
Forsythe takes care of the ground ball. Ellsbury is the second out. Well, here's the home run you're talking about yesterday. out of sight to center field.
Yep, that ball up and out over the plate, and 457 feet later, it comes down. You see Tyler Austin right there celebrating because he had just gone out over the 314 side. But you have that kind of power, you don't worry about anything center field, left center, whatever. And then you think about right field and the fact that that one got out. It was just an inside-out line drive the other way.
Hicks a big cut out in front, strike one. So 2 home runs in his first 2 games. Aaron Judge. He was involved in something yesterday that had never happened before in MLB history, when Austin and Judge went back-to-back in home runs in their first big league at bats. And today becomes the second Yankee to hit home runs in his first 2 games since Joe LaFay did that in 1980. Two and one. Our Toyota inside look. Back-to-back home runs in the second inning. First time in history that 2 players had done that to break into the big leagues. Ooh, there's a reach in and a nice grab.
Hey,
that's not only a great catch, but a save.
yes. Someone had a bruise coming their way. Well, we had Neck Tattoo go bare hand on us down the left field line. We've got Ball Boy here flashing the leather down the right field line.
And Hicks goes out on strikes. A leadoff home run by Judge. We are through 3, 2-1 Rays. Scythe won by Aaron Judge. 2-1 Rays lead. If your passion for the Rays knows no bounds, then this Rays Infinity Scarf just for you. All fans receive the Infinity Scarf presented by Geico while supplies last. When the Rays take on the Rangers, that will be Saturday the 20th of August. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com. Rays up. Brad Miller up here in the 4th inning. Miller, Duffy, and Franklin. It's a 1-1 count. Hot day in New York. And if you want to see how hot it is, we can see if we can get a look at the back of John Hirschbeck's shirt. He's working the plate. 95 degrees. John Hirschbeck calling the balls and strikes, the crew chief. And how about that?
looked like me the other night walking through the city. Except mine went all the way up. It was disgusting.
I'll tell you, it is hot. And he's managed between innings a couple times to go down there and get a cold towel. Miller is out on strikes.
Well, when you have temperatures that have been sitting in the mid 90s and then the feel like is close to 110,
yeah,
it's just, yeah, it's stagnant air too.
And here in the city, you have asphalt and concrete.
Yes.
Ground ball. There's a base hit through the hole for Duffy. So Matt Duffy is aboard. One on with one out. So the Rays shortstop aboard with a hit. That gives him 3 for 10 in a Rays uniform. Pitch is down. 1 ball, no strikes. Ooh, look out, a move to first. Duffy had just had a little conversation with Rocco Baldelli, and as he started to take his lead, he actually was chatting, saying something to Baldelli, and no sooner did he get out there than a move over to first, and it was relatively close.
Yeah, wrap up that conversation before you break from the bag. I mean, really, because that's all it takes. We've seen guys, you know, get picked off just by, I mean, they're ever so slightly, like maybe even just leaning on that right leg, and they throw behind you. Got to pay attention.
That's a ball down. 2-0 the count. Nick Franklin the hitter. Duffy the base runner with 1 out. That's a strike right around the knees.
Very similar to the previous pitch. It's a couple times we've seen that. First time it's a ball, hit that same spot again. Now it's a strike.
And another move to first. Yeah, and for the most part, I think hitters and pitchers alike anticipate that Hirschbeck's going to pretty consistently call that low strike, and maybe a little wide off either side of the plate and not a lot up. Fly ball left center field. Ellsbury on the run, still going, can't get there. One hops the wall. Duffy goes to third. Montoya's going to stop him there on a double by Nick Franklin.
Well, we're seeing it again here this afternoon, and there's really no reason that we shouldn't have anticipated this, but the ball is carrying once again. I mean, it carried yesterday. A lot of them carried out of the yard, but this ball by Nick Franklin just wouldn't come down. I mean, for a minute there, you're like, okay, Jacoby Ellsbury is going to have enough room to track this down, but he just could not get there. The ball just continued to carry all the way out there deep into left center field.
And you could see Ellsbury really busting it.
Yeah.
And you're right, off the bat, you think, well, he's going to catch that. But from the beginning, he was busting it with the ball carrying the way it is, and he still couldn't get up to it.
Great opportunity here to add to the lead.
Dickerson at the plate, walked his first time. 0 for his last 17. Lifts a fly ball to left. Hicks will go to the track, to the wall, leap, and that is gone. Home run to the opposite field. A 3-run shot for Corey Dickerson. And that ball carries out of here. Hicks, I think, initially thought he had a shot when he hit the track, went to the wall, found himself leaping, trying to bring it back, and it's a home run.
Yeah, I wonder if that ball ended up getting gloved. It definitely bounced off something out there, whether it was the top of the wall, maybe it was something in the first row. But Hicks was timing his jump and his leap here to make the catch. Ah, boy, he did have a chance at it if it wasn't for Tank Top.
Well, it goes as a home run. Hicks was going to try to bring it back. So a conference on the hill breaks up. Larry Rothschild back into the dugout following the 3-run home run. And the Rays have taken a 5-1 lead with 1 out in the 4th. Here's Steven Souza Jr. and there's a base hit through the hole into left. 4 consecutive hits after the strikeout of Miller. And the Rays right back at it, have a base runner following the home run.
A hanging breaking ball, and we had just talked about the fact that this ball will fly, and Hicks there thinking that he's got a shot at it. He had a shot at it too.
Yes, he did.
T-squared came up empty.
There's a base hit off the bat of Bobby Wilson. A turn aggressively by Souza Jr. He hangs on at second, and Wilson is aboard. 5 straight hits for the Rays.
And the boos starting to rain down on Severino, who we highlighted at the beginning of this ball game has had a disastrous year here at the big league level, especially coming off of what he was able to do the last 2 months of 2015 here. He's not been able to figure it out.
Well, take a look at the difference here. First time through and then the rest of the time.
This is where the predictability comes in. You see a guy for the second time, the third time, you've got a good idea. He's coming fastball, slider. I mean, how many changeups have we seen today? Have we seen any?
Not that I've noted.
Nothing that has stood out. Nothing that would ever make you as a hitter go up there and have to worry about that pitch. It's been fastball, slider, and the location at times has not been very good. Just can't pitch that way.
Strike 1 to Logan Forsythe. Logan with a double and a homer. It's now 1-1. It's a ball, 2 strikes. Severino had been sent down and then recalled when Nathan Eovaldi went on the DL. A 2-2 count to Logan. Duffy single, Franklin double, Dickerson homered. Souza and Wilson have followed with back-to-back base hits. So 1 out, a 2-2 count. Logan Forsythe getting time from John Hirschbeck. Severino taking a little more time here before he makes the next pitch. Dickerson hitting his 16th home run. And that's the way to snap a hitless streak. Forsythe is out on strikes. Strikeout number 7 for Severino. And here comes Joe Girardi with Kevin Kiermaier due up. Joe Girardi out of the dugout. And this 5-1 game, that's going to be it for the 22-year-old right-hander. All on Fox Sports Sun, brought to you by Jeep, the official vehicles of summer. Celebrating 75 summers of living, 4x forever. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by your Southern Chevy dealers. Well, a pitching change. Luis Cessa will be the new pitcher for New York. Severino out of the game after 3 2/3.
Well, obviously a multi-inning guy coming out. 7 games, 15 2/3 innings, 9 strikeouts. Has given up 4 home runs in those 15 2/3. A tough day at the office for Luis Severino. And day is not yet finished.
2 men on, belonging to Severino. The pitch to Kiermaier is down and in. Kevin, a couple strikeouts on the day. Severino had 7. He walked 1. So far 5 runs allowed, 2 homers and 8 hits. And the tap foul takes the count to a ball and a strike. Rays got a run in the first on doubles by Forsythe and Longoria. A run in the third on the Forsythe home run. 3 runs in the fourth on the Dickerson home run. Two and one. Cessa out of Mexico, out of Veracruz. And it's upstairs, 3 and 1. Having Longoria on deck. Kiermaier, the 8th Rays hitter to come to the plate in the 4th. Now the count full.
Good off-speed pitch there by Sessa. Able to come with that pitch behind in the count. Doesn't want to give in there with the fastball. See if he doubles up.
And there's ball 4 wide, and the bases will be loaded. Souza to third. Bobby Wilson up to second. Kiermaier aboard at first, so they're loaded with 2 outs for Evan Longoria. Evan with a double and a strikeout. Takes a pitch for a strike. Sessa originally signed by the New York Mets. He was signed as a shortstop and converted to the mound. Spent some time in the Detroit Tigers organization and then came to the Yankees. He was involved in the Justin Wilson deal. Fly ball toward right center field. Judge on the run, can't get there. Bouncing to the wall. 2 runs have scored. Here comes Kiermaier in to score. It's a 3-run double. The Rays pick up 3 more. Boy, a double in the first to drive in a run. Now a double in the fourth to drive in 3 for Evan Longoria. And the Rays make it an 8-1 ball game.
He's pushing his RBI total at this ballpark out of reach. Was already up 10. And he drills this ball. Great effort here by Aaron Judge. All 6 feet 7 inches of him. Ends up a little bit short. 2 of those runs are going to be tied to Luis Severino, so his day just got a little bit worse.
7 runs charged to Severino. Now 1 to Sessa. And Brad Miller, who opened the inning, hitting with a runner at second and 2 outs. A 6-run fourth for the Rays. One and one. That pitch called a strike. Hot shot. Oh, and it's grabbed by Austin. Austin with pretty good wingspan down there. He got up reaching and grabbed that hot shot line drive. And the Rays are out sending 10 men to the plate. They get a 3-run home run from Corey Dickerson and a 3-run double from Evan Longoria. We're through 4. The Rays have 8 runs and a built-in 8-1 lead. 8-1 lead. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Rays sent 10 men to the plate in the top of the inning to score 6. Didi Gregorius leads off the bottom of the inning, and there's a strike. Rays scored 6 against the Boston Red Sox at Boston. That also came in the 4th inning on April the 21st, and now a 6-run 4th inning here in New York against the Yankees. Gregorius with a count of a ball and a strike. And that one is foul. Starlin Castro next, and then Brian McCann. It's popped to the right side. Logan Forsythe glasses down and makes the catch. So Jake Odorizzi here making his 25th start. Now 6-5, and he's had a nice turnaround since the All-Star break. That ERA microscopic.
That's what happens when you get one of your big weapons back. You know, early in the year, we talked about Jake Odorizzi's changeup. There were times where we saw the old changeup where it had that good finish, that split type action. There were other times where that pitch stayed true. Yeah, change of speed, but with the tumbling action, easier to pick up, and with no movement on it, you know, teams were having success off of that pitch, and it was just very inconsistent. But since the break, that pitch has been back on track, and you get that little toy back, you get that favorite pitch back to pair it with the elevated fastball, and the fact that you use the whole zone, it's really no surprise that you're going to get on a good roll.
There's a strike to Castro. It's 1-1.
You know, when he's at his very best right now, he uses the entire strike zone. All 4 quadrants. He'll go above it, below it, and he's got 4 pitches to do it with. That is a lot for a hitter to cover. Oh, by the way, pretty good deception too. Hides the ball well. You know, we talk about how he brings that ball out of the glove, stays right behind his leg. You don't see it until its release point.
Well, 3-1. That has to be difficult, BA, for a pitcher, starting pitcher. He's got that changeup that's such a big part of what he does to make him successful. And you go through the early part of the year on this odyssey, hunting for that pitch.
Yeah.
It's the regular season. It's one of your weapons. Every once in a while, you're going to try to use it again. And he got hurt on it a few times. But most of the time, he's been here the last couple of years and been successful. He's had that pitch as a major weapon, and he's got it back.
You remember early in the season, too, he was messing around with the front door cutter, and he got hurt on that a couple of times for some long balls.
Yep.
He's put that one back in his pocket. You know, he's back to, you know, work the slider down and away. Nice fastball right there.
Yeah, he comes back behind in the count to get him now.
Well, look at the location. You know, I mean, Jake Odorizzi, one of those guys that has the ability to locate. Wants to go fastball away. Look at that. Bobby Wilson could have caught that blindfolded.
Two gone, and here's Brian McCann. That's a strike. McCann hit by a pitch his first time. Lines it into right toward the corner. Souza Jr. will play the carom, and they're going to hold him to a base hit. Ball into the right field corner, and it's a single for McCann.
job by Souza Jr. to get over to that ball quickly and get it in, keep McCann at first base, but another hit off of Jake Odorizzi by Brian McCann. He was able to go down there and get that changeup, stay back just long enough to keep it fair.
Gary Sanchez catching today. Too low. Odorizzi coming off a no decision in Toronto. Pitched 5 1/3, made 107 pitches in that game. That's 2-0. He's approaching the mid-50s right here. 2 outs and a base runner into the 4th. There's a shot to left. Franklin will watch this one get out. Sanchez hits his second home run of the year, and it's 8-3. So the Yankees answer with a couple runs in the bottom of the 4th.
Well, Gary Sanchez got a fastball here that was not located very well, and it had a little bit of elevation to it, not way up in the zone, but at the belt. And anything that you get into the air today, we saw it yesterday, we're seeing it again today, anything into the air today, it has a hard time coming down. That one there came down far too late for the Rays' liking.
Tyler Austin taking a strike. You got Austin to ground into a double play to get out of a first and second 1-out situation in the 2nd inning. Oh, 2 count. 2 outs, 2 runs home. And that will take care of Austin. Out on strikes. We're through 4. Rays 8, the Yankees 3. Travis Lee's pinch hit home run came in the top of the 9th off Indians all-star closer Bob Wickman, the only run of the game. Apparently Wickman faced the wrong Lee that day as he became just the third player to win a 1-0 game with a pinch hit home run. Rays sweep that 3-game series against the Indians. Matt Duffy leads off the 5th. Bouncing ball out to second. Castro handles that. One gone in the 5th. Now Nick Franklin. Franklin pops it up third base side to Reyes under it in foul territory, makes the catch. Couple of quick outs here in the 5th. Corey Dickerson takes a couple extra swings on his way to the plate with the 2 quick outs. The Grizzlies barely had time to sit down on the bench in the dugout here on this hot day. So take a little time getting ready to hit.
Yeah, and that's smart. You want to help your pitcher out. These can be tough days. If the pitch count starts to get elevated, if you're out there in rapid succession, and that's what the Yankees, trying to do here is they try to chip away at this lead.
Corey Dickerson, a big part of giving the Rays this lead with a 3-run home run in the 4th. A ball and a strike. Luis Cessa in relief of Luis Severino. Fouls a fastball back. Cessa in the mid-90s, 96 on that one. There's the home run.
Another example of mislocation, which has really hurt Severino this year. And we talked about it even today. He'll use the changeup against left-handed hitters, but I don't remember seeing one. I mean, maybe he threw a handful. I'm not sure, but.
Fly ball to left again. This one caught by Hicks. 3 up, 3 down for the Rays in the 5th through 4.5. 8-3 Tampa Bay.
Fifth inning, Rays head home after this game, guys, and coming up on Sunday against the Texas Rangers, it's a unique giveaway item. It's right here, a double bobblehead of Raymond and DJ Kitty, courtesy of Suncoast Credit Union. Here's the deal, kids 14 and under get this unique bobblehead item, and you want to either go to or call 888-FAN-RAYS or go to RaysBaseball.com and get your tickets. Guess what? 10-game homestand coming up. And then after that, 2 more 6-game homestands, and that's it for the home season. So not many more Kids Sundays and Family Fun Days left. Make sure to check this one out. Back to you.
Eight to 3 ball game. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Big homestand for the Rays, as Todd pointed out.
He pointed out a lot.
Yes, he did. That's what he does.
I didn't know we were going to get a schedule update.
Yeah.
Homestand update.
Yep. And just a fair warning, not many dates left. And there's, Todd, Raymond and DJ Kitty walk down the street in New York. That's the start of a great story, isn't it?
Without a doubt.
Jake Odorizzi out there after a 1-2-3, top of the 5th. Facing Aaron Judge. He's behind him now, 3-0. Finds the strike zone, 3-1. And ball 4, leadoff walk. First walk he's given up. He hit a man. He hit McCann earlier in the game. Ronald Torreyes, the third baseman, is the hitter.
That's the last thing that you wanted to do here, too. Getting back out on that mound rather quickly. It was a quick inning for the Rays offensively, and then lead that off with a walk to the 8-hole hitter. Now, granted, a dangerous 8-hole hitter right now.
Torreyes comes out swinging and fouls that first one back. Yeah, that was just an 8-pitch top of the 5th, and right back out there goes Odorizzi on a very hot day.
Well, the one good thing is, though, you look at Jake Odorizzi out there on the mound. He does not look like he's laboring at all. I mean, he looks to be in fine shape. Just a matter of making pitches and alleviating any potential concern from your manager and pitching coach after the leadoff walk. And he's done that by jumping out 0-2 here on Torreyes.
That's a great point. Even if you have some discomfort, you don't want to let anybody know that. You want to be out there and project the idea that you love to be out there on this 95 day.
You project confidence no matter what. Think about maybe one of the all-timers, Tom Glavine. You could be flipping by a game, tune into him. He may have given up 4 in the first, and he's pitching in the second. He could be working on a no-hitter in the 8th or 9th. The demeanor was the same. He wasn't falling all over the place out there. He wasn't, acting like, he was laboring and just out of gas. He was stoic, and that's what you want to project. You don't want anybody, let him never see you sweat. There's a reason that's a cliche that stood a pretty good test of time.
Well, he gets the pop-up from the third baseman, Torreyes, handled by Forsythe at second. 1 on, 1 out.
And Jake's one of those guys, when you think about it, this is how he is all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's very businesslike in his approach. You don't see him out there, much, any different than you see him right here. This is just the way he goes about his business. Consistency.
Ellsbury takes the pitch high. Jacoby Ellsbury's line to right and is grounded out to second. Odorizzi starting the third time through the order. It's a cut and a miss, 1-1. Ellsbury lifts a fly ball. Franklin out there in left makes the catch. So 2 away in the bottom of the 5th. Well, as we mentioned, Odorizzi now starting the 3rd time through. How about this? It's the reverse of what happens most of the time.
It is. And you know why? Because Jake can remain unpredictable. Jake has, again, 4 different pitches to get you out, and he uses both sides of the plate, and he uses the entire strike zone. So when you have that many options, you can give guys different looks. You can piece together different sequences. You can pitch guys differently as the game moves on if need be. You're not a one-trick pony, and the numbers prove it out on him.
A 1-strike count. You know, that's one of the reasons when you think about a starting pitcher that they'll have 3 or 4 pitches, and why that's really a requirement, because you're going to face these guys more than once or twice. You hope you are, because you want to stay in the game that long.
Won't be a starter.
Oh, there's a base hit. Then to right, down to second base goes Judge. Hicks picks up his first hit of the day.
Yeah, you need options. You know, you see some of these guys come out of the bullpen, their fastball slider. Okay, well, you're going to pitch an inning. You may face 4 or 5 hitters. You'd like to face just 3. One time, you can come after them with 2 pitches and put them away. And a lot of times you're talking about guys with elite stuff, you know, big-time velocity. But as a starter, you need some options. Or you better be pinpoint with your control. So one or the other. That's where Severino, not many options, not pinpoint with control. And that's why it's been a struggle.
Didi Gregorius at the plate. It's fouled out of play. Gregorius today has struck out and popped out to second. Doubled and homered last night. He has shown the Yankees that he can give them some extra base pop out of the shortstop position. Late on that one. 0-2. Hit the home run yesterday to right field. A 2-run home run came off Erasmo Ramirez. Pop-up foul that will carry out of play. Judge at second. Hicks, the runner at first. Another foul ball out of play. Yankees have had base runners in every inning except the first. Got a run on the Judge home run in the 3rd. 2 runs on the home run by Sanchez in the 4th. 2 men on, 2 men out here in the 5th. 2 strikes the count. Gregorius takes it way upstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Foul ball again. Well, a battle going on here.
Well, he's staying up in the zone with the fastball, one after the other. Bobby Wilson out there to see where he's working them. Those last 3 pitches have been at the top of the strike zone or above. Well, the only question is, do you stay up there or do you all of a sudden bring one downstairs? And that's what Bobby Wilson and Jake Odorizzi out there talking about.
And a fly ball toward the line and left. Franklin coming over in a hurry. Foul ball. And a fan reaches over into the field of play. And so
It was
Gregorius is going to be out.
neck tat with the second bare hand. Hey, I'm telling you what, this guy can flat out play. Made a great catch in the first inning on a one hopper bare hand, and then he takes this one right away from Nick Franklin.
Well, hang on. Joe Girardi out talking with John Hirschbeck, and the umpires are going to get together and have a little conference here. They're trying to get the Rays to come back out onto the field. The ground crew out there, they want to change out the bases, but everything's being put on hold for a second.
Well, did he reach out over the wall and into the field of play? That's the question, because it was close. I'll tell you what, too, he used the left hand and the right hand. He's ambidextrous. I mean, that's borderline. I mean, Nick Franklin's going to catch that, but did he go past?
Yeah, that's going to be the determining factor here as Hirschbeck breaks up their conference and again talks it over with Joe Girardi. And so they want to take a look at that. So close.
And here's the thing. I think an ejection hangs in the balance, right?
One would think so.
If they come back and rule that he reached over, then then you got to go.
Yeah, so they're ruling on whether it's an out, and if it is, then a potential ejection.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I just like the fact that the guy made two great plays. Each with a different hand.
So the play under review, and is that left hand reaching out over that imaginary line that would project up from the stands. Left hand goes out, and I'm going to say that from that point, that left hand is in the field of play. But we'll see what they say.
Oh.
I think the fans had an initial reaction because the momentum carried Franklin's glove hand into the stands, but the fan reached over that imaginary line, and he is out.
And he may be out of the stadium.
Yeah.
That may have been the call that got him ejected.
So that's going to end the inning. The Yankees leave 2 after that review. And they're going to call it a day down there. He's on his way out of here.
He had to wait until the
off the bat of Didi Gregorius and denied the opportunity by the fan who reached over, so the out stands. And we go to the 6th with Steven Souza Jr. fouling one to look out. That ball into the screen just adjacent to the dugout. That additional screening there, and that had Joe Girardi ducking for cover in the Yankee dugout. One strike to count to Souza Jr. 1-1. Two and one. Two balls, two strikes, the count on Souza. Bobby Wilson next, and then Forsythe. He's facing Luis Cessa. 7 runs charged to Severino, and another run to Cessa. This one is down. Full count. Cessa in the mid-90s with that last pitch. Time granted by John Hirschbeck. And strike 3 call. Souza on his way to first, but he's caught looking.
Hey, let's go back. And we've got the footage of him leaving, but this is early in the game. First inning, look at that, with the right hand. He goes behind himself, makes a nifty grab with the right hand, then goes up here with the left hand. This guy getting it done all over the field. Unfortunately, that one he reached out a little bit too far, and he was, sent home. But he going home with 2 balls, though. Yeah.
One strike the count.
You like that?
I liked it a lot. So way venomous. 0-2 the count on it's Bobby Wilson up here now. One out, base is empty. A little ground ball picked up by the third baseman Torres, and he makes the play. So 2 up and 2 down in the 6th.
Just got really, really hot in this booth.
It did. Sometimes the heat's unbearable. But you never let anyone see you sweat. Well, if you can help it.
Don't show the camera up here then.
Now Logan Forsythe takes the first pitch for a strike. Souza Jr. called out on strikes. Wilson a bouncer to third. And that's strike 2 to Logan Forsythe. Right back to the hill. That pitch boring in on the handle of the bat. Forsythe is out of there. 1-2-3 go the Rays, who lead this game 8-3. Lead. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Follow Rays Baseball live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day. Live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. Starlin Castro to open the bottom of the 6th. First pitch is upstairs. Castro with a base hit and a strikeout. One of 5 strikeouts posted by Odorizzi. Here comes Franklin, left field, and he's there to make the catch. One gone, bottom of the inning. Now Brian McCann, and out to short right field goes Logan Forsythe. Duffy over on the first base side of second, and there's the slow curveball that drops in there for a strike under 70.
Yeah, what a weapon. When you can do that, especially with a hitter that's giving you trouble, you just immediately set that count at 0-1. He's not going to be swinging at that pitch.
And now 0-2. Let's double up.
Add a few miles an hour.
Yeah, 72 on that one. First one was 67. That one's 72. And the fastball he fouls back. So far in this sequence, what are we at? 67, 72, and 93.
Yeah, just climbing the ladder. Now here's the thing. Do we head back in the opposite direction, or do we try to go one more up?
He goes up, hitting 93 again.
This is one of the things that you do when a guy's had success off you. You go back and look, what has he handled, and how can I change my approach?
And a swing and a miss. He strikes him out this time. Well, a nice start and a good finish right there.
Boy, was it ever. I mean, you drop in 67. Okay, boom. Follow that up with another hook, a little bit harder. And then you just climb the ladder with fastballs, all of them at 93, and you finally get the chase. Great adjustment made there by Jake Odorizzi.
It's Gary Sanchez taking a big swing and fouling it back. He got ahead in the count in the 4th and then hit a fastball out for a 2-run home run. Two.
I'll tell you, the thing that's nice when you watch Jake Odorizzi pitch is how linear he is. You know, there's very little movement in his, pitching out of the windup here. Keeps it very simple. The leg comes up, it comes straight back down. It's straight at home plate. Good follow through. Drives the ball to his spot.
Fly ball center. Kiermaier is right there and makes a catch. A little hop right there at the end. We're headed into the 7th. It's 8-3 Rays. On a pair of 2 base hits, a double by Evan Longoria scored Forsythe, who opened the game with a 2 base hit. And then it was Forsythe belting a home run in the 3rd, his 14th of the year. That set the stage for a big 4th inning. The Rays had a 3-run home run from Corey Dickerson, then loaded the bases for Evan Longoria, who cleared them with a 2 base hit, his 2nd double of the game. So he's driven in 4. The Rays lead 8-3 as this game now goes into the 7th inning. Kevin Kiermaier to lead off. Kevin walked and scored in the 4th. Luis Cessa came on in relief of Severino. Ground ball, and Castro makes the play. So Kiermaier's out of there. Now Evan Longoria. Toronto leads Houston 5-2. That game in the top of the 7th in Toronto. Blue Jays will be coming in to play the Yankees. The Rays will be headed home to play the Padres. Boston has a big lead at home in the bottom of the 5th, 14-1 over Arizona. Zach Greinke started that game for Arizona. Liner into left. That's going to drop for a base hit. Hicks will make the pickup, and Evan is 3 for 4 today. Well, the Rays have 2 hits off Cessa, both by Longoria, including the bases loaded double. And here is Brad Miller. Brad 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts, and in the 4th inning he ended that inning by hitting a vicious line drive to first that Austin caught. Made a leaping grab. 1 ball, no strikes.
Yeah, that was impressive. You wonder what the speed of that ball off the bat was, because it was stung. By the time your eyes get up to try to follow it, Austin has already spun around and caught it.
Oh, there's a line shot through the right side. Longoria had to stop to let it go through. 1st and 3rd, another hard hit ball by Miller. Boy, every time he makes contact, it seems he's hitting the ball hard.
Well, he went down and got that one too. Nice job of following this down, and then Evan, watch out. Ball hooking behind him. Well, it gets on you so quick.
Yeah, there's no question you're going to hear it probably before you see it, and hope that you see it in time if you're the base runner. First and 3rd, 1 away, and here's Matt Duffy. One strike here. And that one on the corner, taken for a strike. Down 0-2. It's a ball and 2 strikes. A little foul ball, got just a little bit of that one and stays alive.
It took it right out of the glove of Sanchez down there. Hangs onto it. The inning's over. Not able to. Matt Duffy with new life.
Rays led 1-0. Then 2-0. It was a 2-2 ball game. Rays scored 6 in the 4th. And a base hit up the middle for Duffy. Here comes Longoria to score. Miller stops at second. Run batted in, and Duffy 2 for 4. Makes it 9-3.
The Rays swinging the bats. I mean, everybody getting involved up and down the lineup. You start to look at the runs scored. Well, right now, everybody but Brad Miller has scored. Breaking ball up the middle. Find an opening.
Now Miller's at second. Duffy at first. A run home. First pitch, Nick Franklin takes it for a ball. Franklin doubled, scored on the Dickerson home run. Everybody in the lineup has been on base. Franklin lifts a popper back a third. Foul ball. That will carry out a play. It's 1-1. Rays with 151 home runs on the year now, with Forsythe and Dickerson hitting home runs today. Two and one. Dickerson's home run came in the 4th inning, his 16th of the year. And a shot into right field. That ball lined and winds up in the seats. Home run for Nick Franklin. A 3-run home run. His 3rd home run of the year. And now the Rays expanding the lead once again. Nick Franklin with a line drive home run.
These runs coming in bunches. Second 3-run homer of the day. This was a rocket shot. Well, that pitch just middle of the plate, and Nick Franklin just laces it. Coming in there with some heat.
So Franklin gets into the act. Rothschild to the mound to talk it over with Sessa. The Rays building a 12-3 lead. Franklin with a double and a home run in this game. So he has 3 runs batted in. Dickerson, who's about to step in, hit the 3-run homer in the 4th, 3 RBIs. Longoria has 4, Duffy 1, and Forsythe, who homered in the 3rd with a run batted in. Dickerson fouls it, strike 1. Franklin hit a home run in the series against Minnesota when he connected off Kyle Gibson. First home run of the year came against Boston. Koji Uehara served up a home run to him. And now Sessa here today.
So much more fun when you hit those home runs with runners on base. The Rays now, well, you count the one from Brad Miller in yesterday's ball game. They've hit 3 3-run homers in this series.
1 and 2 on Dickerson.
You can see why Earl Weaver was such a fan. Those numbers add up quick.
Yes, they do. And Dickerson Swings and misses. He is the second out. You know, and the trick is getting a couple of men on base to hit him.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one of the challenges for the Rays when you look at their on base percentage on the year coming into this game, 14th in the league. And with their home run outburst today, they have 152 home runs. Pitching change coming for New York. Back in a moment. Hits for the Rays today. They've used the long ball to their advantage. Here's what's coming up tomorrow. Rays Live, the pregame show, presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. We'll hear from Drew Smiley, who will make the start. And Todd Callis sits down with former Ray Will Myers coming back in with San Diego. The new pitcher is Blake Parker. He's on with 2 outs and the bases empty in what has been a 4-run 7th. Parker making his 3rd appearance.
Well, for the Rays here this afternoon, it's been 2 big innings. You know, they scored early, tacked on in the 3rd, had a huge 4th inning. Now another big 7th inning. Taking out some aggression, some frustration. It's been a frustrating road trip.
Parker's first pitch upstairs, a fastball, home run in this inning by Nick Franklin, a 3-run homer. Dickerson, a 3-run homer in the game. Bases loaded double for Longoria and a solo home run for Forsythe. Duffy drove in the other run with a base hit. Souza Jr. fouls it out of play. Crowd of 41,473 on a day in which they honored Mariano Rivera. Two balls and a strike. Three and one. Chopper foul outside of third. And that's a strike call to end the inning. Top of the 7th is complete, but the Rays score 4-3. Coming on the home run by Nick Franklin as the Rays build this big lead in the middle of the 7th. Rays lead 12-3.
Stadium, a special day for Mariano Rivera, who was honored before the game with a place in Monument Park. If you remember, his final game he pitched in 2013 came against the Rays right here in this building. He was going against Tampa Bay, and out came Derek Jeter and Andy Pettitte to take him out of the game, and this would be the final moment for Mariano as a pitcher. 652 career saves, took a little bit of the mound with him. Here's Kevin Cash, who caught him for 4 games, about what he remembers about the great number 42.
He's the best. He's the best closer. You know, just the way it was, he had ice water running through his veins. I mean, he pitched in every stage possible, the biggest, and came out on top. But as a teammate, much like what I said about Alex Rodriguez, just a quality person, great teammate, very instrumental to talking to the young guys. This will be a special day. I'm glad that we get to see it.
And there is the unveiling of the monument that will now reside in center field with all the other greats in Yankee history. One other story, guys, he told earlier today about the last time he threw his slider. We talked earlier about him being a cutter-only guy with such a phenomenal pitch. He said the last time he threw his slider was in 1999, a game against the then Devil Rays here at the old Yankee Stadium on July 21st. It came against John Flaherty, an 0-2 count. He said Jeter kept telling him, you've got to throw another pitch other than cutter. Just try it every once in a while. So he turned around to Jeter and said, all right, I'm going to throw a slider here. He signaled to him he's going to throw a slider. Flaherty hit it for RBI double. That was the last time he ever threw a slider, 1999. Retired in 2013. Back to you guys.
All right, Todd, thank you. We're headed into the bottom of the 7th with the Rays holding this lead. Jake Odorizzi worked the front 6. Dylan Floro will take over on the mound.
You know, when we go to Todd, the information, it knows no bounds. I mean, he always has plenty. He has the hit and then some to give us.
That's the nature of Todd. Rays, as you can see there, some other changes. Floro replaces Odorizzi, who was at 90 pitches through 6. Mikey Mautuk in the game in left for the Rays. Tim Beckham at third. There's a ground ball going to go through the right side. So a leadoff single puts Austin aboard.
Well, Odorizzi good once again. You know, 6 strong innings, gave him the 3 earned runs, but you know, he had a big lead to work with. Was working the strike zone over very well. And he was right on schedule as far as pitch count goes. I mean, when you start thinking about 6 innings, you're 90 pitches. That's 15 per. So you're right on target. And certainly, if Kevin Cash needed him to still be out there, absolutely could be.
Aaron Judge, the hitter, strike the count. Second base grabbed by Franklin. Duffy 1, first base 2. And it's 4-6-3 on the double play.
Boy, and a good thing that everybody was positioned where they needed to be. Nick Franklin out there at second now, because that ball off the bat of Judge was a rocket. And then feed Duffy, let him clear second, and finish off that double play.
Franklin moving in from left field to play second, replacing Forsythe. And the ground ball, second base again. Franklin up with this one. Torres out of there. So it turns out to be a quick bottom of the 7th. Floro taking advantage of the ground ball. 12-3 Rays. It's 12-3. The Rays have out hit the Yankees 13-6. Changes for the New York Yankees. Austin Romine takes over at first. Austin goes out to play left field. Hicks will move over to play center, and Ellsbury's out of the game. And the first pitch here from Blake Parker to Bobby Wilson. He takes that for a ball. There's Hicks now in center. One and one. Wilson had a base hit, a run scored in the 6-run fourth. Bobby 1 for 3. Right back into the screen. So defensively for New York again, Tyler Austin in left with Adam Hicks in center. Aaron Judge in right field. Torreyes remains at third. Gregorius still at short. Castro second base. Austin Romine, the new first baseman, with Sanchez still catching. Parker, who got a strikeout to end the seventh, top half of the inning, working the top of the eighth. Into center field. Back goes Hicks. He is there. And that's out number one in the eighth.
Modern day baseball with the versatility. You think about Austin leaves first base to head to left field. Nick Franklin heads from left field to second base. And guys bouncing all over. Often didn't see that. Maybe change infield positions, maybe change outfield positions, but not back and forth like this.
And Mikey Matuk, who just entered the game and left as Franklin went to second, hits in the leadoff spot vacated by Forsythe. That pitch is a strike. Logan had a double and a home run today. A run batted in and 2 runs scored, and now Matuk, who's playing left field, hitting out of that leadoff spot. Kiermaier will be next. Matuk quickly down 0-2. Matuk got a start in right field last night, went 0 for 3. Played center field here Friday night. It's a ball and 2 strikes. And Matuk is out number 2, down on strikes. Nobody sees sports quite the way Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock do. Brains to know, the guts to catch and say. Colin and Jason on FSN1's new daily sports talk show, Speak for Yourself, weeknights at 6 p.m. Eastern. Here's Kiermaier 0 for 3 with a walk, and there's a liner into the gap in right center field. Kiermaier on his way to second with a double, picking up his first hit of the day.
I had to get that out of the way. He did have a walk and a run scored, but you want to get that hit on a big offensive day, and he gets it there. Pitch down and away. Thought maybe off the bat he'd be thinking about 3, but Hicks did a nice job of getting over to that ball and getting it in.
And here's Tim Beckham. First plate appearance for Beckham. Entering in the bottom of the 7th inning at third base, occupying Longoria's spot in the lineup. Sliders in for a strike. Could have been just a nice, good curveball. I think he throws the curveball more than the slider.
Yeah, he dropped that in there. Upper 70s. There's a lot going on there coming set. There's that slider.
And it's 0-2. Beckham stepping back. Rays jumped out in front with a run in the first. They made it 2-0 in the third. Yankees got on the board in that inning. Rays really broke it open with a 6-run fourth. Yankees scored a couple more runs, and then the Rays put up 4 in the 7th, and they lead 12-3. 14 hits for the Rays. Beckham fouling that 0-2 pitch. Chopper to third. Torreyes with a high throw down on the bag, but not in time. Inning will continue. Kiermaier goes to third. Beckham reaches on the throwing error, charge to Torreyes.
Been that kind of day. It has been that kind of day from the opening bell for the New York Yankees. Looks like this is going to end things, and then the throw sails. Romine cannot get back down to the bag in time.
That's the first error of the game. And we'll give Brad Miller an opportunity to swing the bat in the 8th. Pitch is wide. Foul ball against him in the back. 1-1. Miller singled in the 7th inning and scored. Ended the 6-run 4th inning with a line drive, a hard hit ball caught by the first baseman. At the time it was Tyler Austin. Austin now in left, and Austin Romine is playing first at the moment. That's a strike. It's 1-2. Foul out of play.
More meetings. That's the name of the game.
That's what we need. The world needs more meetings, especially in the 8th inning of a 12-3 game.
Yeah.
But it's like most meetings.
Yeah. And we've had some of those here recently that
Yes.
you're kind of like, you know, it's an hour and a half of my life I'll never get back. And I'm not sure why we were here.
A 1-2 count.
Did I say that
Brad
out loud?
Miller. And it's now 2-2. Yeah.
What I just said may have caused a meeting.
That's right. Well, thank you.
You probably won't be invited.
What, I'm not invited to the meeting? Now what?
You're good.
2-2 to the count. And a little wide. 3-2. Full count now to Brad Miller. He sends a fly ball into center. Hicks drifting back is there to make the catch. So we'll go into the bottom of the 8th. Until we get there, we'll hold a short meeting with the Rays leading 12-3. The official vehicles of summer, celebrating 75 summers of living 4x forever. By Kubota. For more information, go to FloridaKubotaDealers.com. And by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. From Yankee Stadium, on to the bottom of the 8th inning. Ryan Garten will make his 21st appearance of the year. Floro worked 1 inning, and now Garten, all in relief of Jake Odorizzi.
You know, these are the points of a ball game, points of a season, where if you're Ryan Garten, if you're Dylan Floro, it doesn't matter what the score is. You have to look at these opportunities as making a case, making a statement. You know that bullpen, we've talked about it already, is going to be, rebuilt.
Austin Romine leads off, sending a fly ball into left. Matuk makes the catch out there. 1 pitch, 1 out. Yeah, you're right. They have to look at each one of these appearances as an opportunity to build a case for themselves.
Same thing with, as you talk about some of the other players and the other positions that are going to be open that guys are going to fight for. And Kevin Cash has said, listen, I don't want guys out there playing with the idea of I'm going to put it in their minds that I can be an option for next year. He wants them to go out there and take control of these positions. Just seize it. Just go out there and say, this is mine. You're going to have to drag me out of here, as opposed to going out there saying, let me show myself well enough that I'm in the mix. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Kind of that go for it type of attitude is what he's looking for.
One and one to count to Hicks. Two balls and a strike. One out, base is empty. Hicks started the day in left, now in center. Didi Gregorius will be next. Ground ball right side. Rays playing the shift, and they're going to throw out Hicks. So 2 gone. Hicks out, Franklin to Miller. Here's Gregorius. This pitch is a strike. Odorizzi, Floro, and Garten. 1 and 1 to count. Rays will be headed home. Drew Smiley will open the home stand. It will be Smiley, then Blake Snell, and Chris Archer in the San Diego series. 1 and 2 the count. Two and two. There's a pitching matchup. Luis Perdomo is going to open that series for the Padres and the former Ray. Edwin Jackson will pitch the second game. There's a base hit up the middle for Gregorius. So a 2-out base hit. 7th hit for New York. Now Starlin Castro heads to the plate. And tomorrow is the all active duty military retired and honorably discharged veterans Monday, when you can get 2 free tickets. First pitch, Castro sends a fly ball to right. Souza Jr. makes the call and the catch. We're through 8 here in New York, and the Rays lead 12-3. All new Fox Sports Go app. Download the app and take Fox Sports Sun and Rays baseball with you wherever you go. On to the 9th inning in New York in the Bronx, where the Rays and the Yankees are wrapping up their series. Jason Shreve will be the new pitcher. Here's pitcher number 4. Lefty on to face Matt Duffy. Duffy, then Franklin Dew, followed by Corey Dickerson, the DH. Duffy 2 for 4, 2 runs scored and a run batted in. Goes for the first one and skies it into center, right center. And that's going to be Hicks to make the catch. Aaron Judge over alongside, but Hicks grabs that one. Well, Nick Franklin. Franklin with a 3-run home run his last time up. Lined it into the seats and right. He doubled and scored in the 4th. Hit the 3-run home run in the 7th. Out of play for a strike.
Try not to let Chasen Shreve get settled in. Some early swings.
Sitting right after him.
Maybe we have a couple of guys that want to get things moving.
Oh, a base hit up the left field line. Franklin around first, going to dig for 2. He'll make that easily. His second double of the day gives him 3 for 5.
He just looks so much more comfortable, you know, in the big leagues here this go round. Well, even the last time when he was sent down, and I think that, you know, he at that point felt like, hey, listen, I belong up there. Was certainly performing like it, but ended up going down, coming right back up, and here he get the switch hit, roll over to the other side, and get one up the line.
So the Rays with another base runner in scoring position. 1-0 the count here to Corey Dickerson. Well, the Rays with a 12-3 lead, and they have an opportunity to add to that lead. One ball, one strike. One ball, two strikes. One ball, two strikes. Covered up by Sanchez. Rays got 7 runs off the starter Severino. Hit a couple of home runs off him, then 5 off Sessa. Home run off him. Rays with 15 hits, 8 extra base hits today. Ground ball right side, gloved by Castro, and his toss to first. Franklin advances to third. Steven Souza Jr., who singled and scored in the 4th. Bats now with 2 outs in the 9th and a runner at third. Strike one.
Did you hear that phone ringing?
You gonna answer it?
No, I never do. Wait for the message or the email.
0-2.
Yeah, you went over the pitching matchups for the San Diego series. I'm not going to be able to see that. I'm not going to be there for that series. Perdomo, we'll miss Perdomo. Miss this half inning. We'll talk about it next time. So we got another one.
Souza Jr. strikes out. Going to miss him. Bottom of the 9th coming. 12-3 ball game. Rays take this one into the bottom of the 9th inning against New York. A couple of big innings, 6 runs in the 4th and 4 runs in the 7th. And Alex Colomé, we haven't seen him in a while, and he'll be on to get some work here.
You want to stay sharp. These are the tight rope that you walk here, with your closer. You don't want to use them unnecessarily, but at the same time, you can't let them sit around and gather rust. So you pick a game like this, talk to Alex. Do you want to get an inning? More than likely, he said absolutely. And here he is.
He's facing Brian McCann. And the first pitch is a strike. He has not worked, speaking of Colomé, since a week ago yesterday. I was going to say last Saturday, but it's a week ago yesterday on the 6th, and that was in the 7-3 win the Rays had over the Twins. And he picked up the save. So picked up his 27th save then.
I haven't worked since top of the 5th today.
Come on in for the save.
I'm rusty and I want some work. But that's we were talking about missing the San Diego
Yeah, you're
series.
going to take some time off.
Well, I try to strategically pick, from month to month, a couple of games. You see the kids. The kids are going back to school this week. I figured it was a good week to clear the calendar so I could be all settled in for the opening ceremonies on Rio.
There's a strike and it's 2-2.
I'm really excited for that to get.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, it's not every day, not even every year that you get a chance to watch that.
Every 4 years.
Yeah.
Mark your calendar because it's like about a 2-week span. That's all you get.
Yep.
Try to take advantage.
2 balls, 2 strikes to the count. That's a little foul ball.
There's going to be some angry people out there.
Yeah, it was really just a comedic riff.
No. That was the best part. Having a little fun, and people got real upset about that.
Yeah, they thought, what are those guys? Are they really a week late?
Yeah. Anti-American.
A ball, so it's a full count, 3-2. Well, now the question is, Michael Phelps really going to retire? He'd still be young enough next time. They're going to be in Tokyo. And put that on the calendar so we got the date right.
Well, here's the thing, though. Yeah, right.
Here's ball 4 to McCann.
With the, every 4 years, I'm sure he's going to announce it. He did last time, right?
Yeah.
He did last time. And then all of a sudden you get that itch. You still think, hey, I may be able to do this still.
Yeah, he'd still be young enough to do
right?
it. Yeah. I mean, really, we've seen some great athletes.
Yeah.
And, you have to think about him maybe being the greatest athlete of all.
Was it 23 golds?
Yeah.
28 golds.
Total, I think.
Yeah.
23 goals.
What about on the women's side? That Katie Ledecky?
Yeah. One of the greatest photos I saw when she was 9 or 10, she was getting an autograph from Michael Phelps. How about that?
Yeah. How about
what a great
that
photo that
journey?
Was. Yep.
We actually watched her the 800-meter freestyle final. She was lapping girls. This was the final. I mean, there were girls that weren't even in the camera shot with her that far out in front. That was incredible. To be that much better than everybody else in the world, where it's not even close.
Yep. 2 strikes here on Sanchez. A walk to McCann to open the bottom of the 9th. Just so we put ourselves back in good standing with those folks who somehow thought that we kind of lost a week.
Hey, they came out on Web Wednesday, guns a-blazing, and Todd protected us.
Yeah.
Because we were getting lit up. Lit up.
Colomé strikes out Sanchez. 1 on, 1 out now in the bottom of the 9th. Tyler Austin, who's now playing left field, started the day at first. Up here to hit. Jake Odorizzi in line for his 7th win. A little wide right there, 1-0. How strange it must be for a closer to come in, having not pitched in a week and a day, to a 12-3 game, just to get work.
Yep. And that's why almost every time in a situation like this, the closer, the manager will ask, do you want an inning? And, because the last thing you want is a guy out there that really doesn't want to be out there in a situation like this, because often we see closers, when they struggle, it's when there's nothing on the line.
Yep.
A 9-run lead. But if you want the inning, then you're going out there saying, I want to work on some things. I want to make sure that I stay sharp. You can't expect Colomé. I mean, how much longer can you go with him not pitching?
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you bring him into a 1-run game on Tuesday, and it's been 8, 9, 10 days since he's thrown last.
Yeah, that's number one. It's not fair. Number two, it's just not advisable.
Right.
Well, 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. There, Judge at the plate. And he misses the opening fastball there for a strike.
Alex Colomé, though, he may be one of those guys that Kevin Cash doesn't even ask, because he knows he wants to be out there. So you just put him in. That's what he does. I mean, Alex will take the ball in just about any situation or scenario that you can give him gladly. And really what he's done this year has been special, because you did not see that coming out of spring training. He was going to be working in front of Brad Boxberger, who led the American League in saves last year. And all of a sudden he became the guy overnight, and boy, he is not disappointed.
Two and one to count to Judge. Hit another home run today after going into the record books when he and Tyler Austin hit back-to-back home runs in their first big league at bats. First time that had ever happened. And today Judge hit one out to right center. He's walked and grounded into a double play. 2-1 to count. That's upstairs. 3 balls and a strike. And a high popper left side. Beckham and Duffy. It's going to be Duffy making the call and the catch to end this game. Rays win it over the Yankees 12-3, 12-15-0 for the Rays. 5 left, 3-7-1, 4 left for New York. Odorizzi the winner, 7-5. Severino the loser, 1-8 in 2 hours and 54 minutes before 41,473. The Rays will wrap up this road trip with a victory here at Yankee Stadium and head home now. The Rays will be moving into Tropicana Field first to take on the San Diego Padres. They'll be in for 3, the Texas Rangers for 3, and then the Boston Red Sox come in for 4. So a 10-game homestand coming up beginning tomorrow night for the Rays before they hit the road for another week-long trip into Houston and Boston. The Rays win this one 12-3. It is their 47th win of the year. Jake Odorizzi working the front 6. He made 90 pitches today, continues to pitch well for the Rays. Gave up 3 runs, 5 hits. Floro, Garton, and Colomé finished up for the Rays. Number of hitters had big days today, including Nick Franklin. Todd Callis is standing by with Nick right now.
Yeah, Dwayne, with a 15-hit, 12-run attack, there were a lot of stars today. Nick Franklin certainly being one of them. Nick, when you saw the first two games, pretty much the middle of the lineup getting the job done, good to see everybody contributing today.
Yeah, absolutely. Jake Odorizzi did his thing on the mound. He put away hitters and got crucial outs when he needed to, and just a hell of a great game by our middle of the order. They did a lot of damage.
Yeah, in the middle of the order with Evan Longoria leading the way. The big inning for you to cap it off with a 3-run home run. We saw Corey Dickerson with a 3-run home run earlier. In this ballpark, you pretty much need to keep adding on, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of fun whenever we're making great contact and balls are leaving the park. And Corey Dickerson came up huge with that 3-run homer, and he went oppo, which is awesome. So I'm happy for everybody that everybody did well, and we got the W.
We're watching your home run there. What was the pitch there?
It was a fastball, like middle in, and just kind of left it up.
Now, you're a friendly guy. I like to have a good time out on the field. You actually had a little fan interference situation earlier. What happened on that play? What did the guy say? And ultimately, you got the last word.
Yeah, I was headed towards the wall, and all I can remember was the last thing is I saw the ball, and I blinked for 1/2 a second, and it was out of my glove. So, but yeah, it was, and I didn't even know he was out until I actually looked and see everybody, coming on to the dugout. So,
was he talking smack before that? Because it seems like you were at least.
Yeah, he was just laughing, and I think he was enjoying his time that he caught the foul ball. I think he was more happy or surprised that he caught it than he was going to get kicked out of the game. Yeah.
Happy to get home for 10 games, especially because it'll be 72 degrees of air conditioning.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been a rough 2 days, and I'm pretty sure we'll be happy to get on that plane back to 72.
Nice job today, Nick.
Thank you.
All right, guys, back to you.
All right, Todd, thank you very much. Well, Nick Franklin got that fan sent to timeout, as it turned out. The Rays win this game 12-3. And again, they'll head home to take on the San Diego Padres. We'll be with you tomorrow at 6:30 on Fox Sports Sun. For Brian Anderson and Todd Callis, Dwayne Stats, great to have you aboard. Hope you've enjoyed the telecast. Rays Live, the postgame, presented by Checkers, comes your way next.